Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your Energy Booster Academy. Let's see if we are really live on Facebook. You see, I'm using a different tool for this. I'm not using Facebook directly, so let me check. All right, we got it. And we are live. So, yep, to those who are new here, my name is Janice Padilla, and um, we are here in Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm originally from the Philippines. I work as a nurse here in the US. So, originally, this live stream should have started 20 minutes ago, but then I volunteered to help at work today. We are having a large influx of patients because last week we had a snowstorm, and you don't want to drive on the snow, and unfortunately our state Tennessee is not winter ready. So yeah, mainly the main roads were plowed, but the roads on the neighborhood weren't. So it was really hard for patients to go to their chronic dialysis unit. And so yeah, this week they could already travel, but then turned out that their numbers weren't good. Like the potassiums really are very high. Like, yeah, I did a patient today. I helped, that's why I'm late. I did a patient today. When he came into the emergency room, his potassium was low. But yeah, because I worked as a dialysis nurse, to those who don't know me yet. And here we go. In today's live stream, we are going to be talking about the 14th law of growth. And this is the law of expansion. Well, I have a lot of many favorites among the laws of growth, but this one really stood up. The law of expansion is just telling us that growth expands our capacity. So when you keep on growing, you become more. You grow in a lot of ways. But maybe some of you are thinking, so when can I be an expert? When are these all these learning should end? Well, bad news. Really, there's no shortcut. We can't really be an expert at all, like 100% expert. So we couldn't stop growing, we couldn't stop learning. This is like, as long as you live, then you should be seeking for growth, and we should be seeking for new things to learn on how to do it. So yeah, there you go. But then, sometimes we might think like, okay, let me focus on a certain subject, and in 5 years we think we'll be good and we can stop learning and we'll be called experts. So it doesn't really work like that. So you see, our potential is limitless, which means if you don't stop growing, eventually, someday or one day, you will just be surprised that you can no longer recognize yourself, and you just have to introduce yourself to yourself or your new self, because there's just so much that you've learned already, and that your life is already transformed. So that's just how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. And so I encourage you to not stop growing. Keep on growing. Learn new things. Experiment new things. And so, yeah, talking about potential. So there are just two things that Jean Maxwell is telling us to do in order for us to really maximize our potential. And that is to change what we think and change what we do. Really. Really. Because, if you're just going to examine what we think directly influences how we live, or what kind of life we have. If we have a stressful life, or if we have a stress free life, if we are, how we are as a person, directly affects, like what we think. What do we think about? And what do we do with what do we think? So, John Maxwell is sharing these three top tips in order for us to change what we think. In number one is, yeah, I have my notes here, so we will not go further. I don't want to waste your time, and so I don't want to waste my time as well. So number one is stop thinking more work. Isn't it a good news? So who wants more work? I don't want more work, because maybe what I'm doing is not really working. But instead, we have to start thinking what works. What works? Because activity is not equal to accomplishments. Not a lot. I mean, like, who are these people that who you think are busy, but then you also see that they're not really successful? Because it doesn't mean that we work so hard or we're so busy then we are already successful. It doesn't mean like that. So if you are familiar of Pareto principle is like 20% deliver results, like 20% of what you do deliver 80% of result. So we just have to really determine what is working with what I do. What, like, we have a list of 10 things to do. What is the top 20? Because the top 20 are the 20%, or yeah, just two things among the 10 things that you are going to do are important or will deliver what will really matter, or what will really give result to the end. So it doesn't mean that you do everything. We just have to determine what is important among what we do. So 20% of results comes from 80% of your time. 20% of your activities will account for 80% of the result. So, which means we have to understand, we have to just know what are the important things that we need to do. We don't have to do a lot, which is really good, because who wants to be busy? Who wants to really work hard? Right? I mean, we can delegate 80% of what we do and focus on the 20% that we can really do so well. And this 20% will give us 80% of result. So that is Pareto principle. If this is new to you, you may want to look it up. But this principle, if you can just think about it, you will realize that, you know, not everything that you do or that we do will give us the best result, or not everything that we do are really important. Some of the things are not really important. We can just, let somebody do it for us, or we can just delegate it to somebody. So, busyness, I want you to remember this. If all of these things you won't remember this. Busyness is not equal to accomplishments. So, don't be busy doing, all these things and yet not get the result that you want. But instead, focus on what really matters. Focus on what's really important and what will give you the result that you wanted to have. So, number two is to stop thinking can I, and to change it with how can I. Because, there are these things, like sometimes there are doors or opportunities that are in front of us, and we thought we couldn't do it or we can't do it because we don't have the experience of doing it, or we haven't done it yet, and we believe that we couldn't do it. That's why we don't get into these doors, or we are not open to these opportunities. So instead of asking yourself, can I, change it with how can I? Because we can learn things. I mean, I think that these things, or whatever task it is, we can just learn it if we really want to learn and experiment and do it, and just try to do something that is not that is new to us. And when we do that, then we develop our talent, we develop our skills, and we become more valuable in our organizations because we are expanding what we know. So, like, example, we don't know to do that thing before, but then we are open to learn about it. And so we study it, we practice it, and one day we become better at it. So don't, you know, don't close your mind from all these opportunities that you have not, tried yet. Because you will never know. And I know for sure that if we will just learn or try to learn new things, then that will eventually lead us to being unstoppable, and you know to become somebody that we are not usually. Who that's someone that we are not yet. Just be open to opportunities so we can expand, or we can do more than what we just can do right now. So stop thinking, can I, or can I do it? Can I do that? And start thinking, how can I do it? And when we do that, our life will change. So, number three is stop thinking one way and start thinking of many ways. Because, if we know one thing, if we know to do such a thing in one way or how to do it, there is also there are a lot of ways and how to do it, and we should always ask how we can do it better. So when we do that, we will begin to realize a lot of things, and we'll do things differently than how we do it before. And sometimes, you know what, this will just save us time and resources. So always be open on how to do things, because if we can just ask ourselves every time if there is a better way on how to do it, then we can make this life better. Or we can even help other people do it the better way. So stop thinking that there's just one way. Start thinking that there are many ways to do whatever task it is that that you are doing or you want to do. And always ask, how can I do it better? So that's in how we think, or changing what we think. So what about changing what we do? So John Maxwell also shared three things in how we do that. Number one, always exceed expectation. Always exceed expectation. Isn't it crazy. I mean, when you just become excellent in what you do and you always exceed the expectation of others, because I mean, human as we are, people are always expecting from us, but when we get out of the box and show them that we can do better, then eventually, we will be recognized. And it will also just be showing others that when we do the work that we need to do. And then my dog is barking at me. Wanted to go out. We just exceed expectation from the work that we do, then people will also start to model what we do, and we can have a better work culture at our workplace. So yeah, always exceed expectation. Number two, stop doing important things someday, but do it every day. Sometimes I know, human as we are, we could be lazy. And I don't know, sometimes we just don't think. If we will just start thinking and do the important things every day, then we can do more. Just like, in the Pareto principle, if we will just determine every day to do the top 20% of the task that we needed to do that day, then can you see how it can exponentially grow in the long run? So always do the important things every day and not just someday. And I just want to share, I think I've learned this. I don't know where I've read this or where I heard this, but this person is saying, if we can just think for 30 minutes every day, then our life will radically change. And I do believe on that, because come to think of it, if you will just think, if you'll just give your time to think, to pause and to think every day, like 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes in the morning, or 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the midday, and 10 minutes at night, then we can easily filter what we need to do. Because sometimes we're just busy and we don't have time to think, and that leads us to have a chaotic day. Because when you can't think and when you don't think, it'll just be, I know, I mean, like, I know you understand what I'm talking about, because we all go through this. But if we can just stop and think for 30 minutes every day, then we will have peace. Then we'll be able to filter what we really needed to do for that day, and how we can do it the right and the best way we can. So there you go. And then number three is to stop doing things alone, but to start doing it with others. Because when you do it with others, you just start to maximize and do more. So it's like, we have, if you are a leader at work right now, if you are a supervisor, you know, level, or if you just work with others, if you can start, let me see the comments, if you can start, hi Victoria, if you can just ask for help and ask questions and work with others, then can you imagine how it can contribute on your workflow? You will work better. So if you are building an organization right now, if you can just work with your people well, if you can just train them, and so you can also, when you train others, then you can empower them. you will be empowering them to do what you can do. And when you do that, then how good will it be to work with the people on the same level of understanding or skills or growth that you are? So it'll just go, your organization will just grow faster. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for dropping by. I miss you, girl. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7:20. Was it 7:20? 7:11 here in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm gonna go bring my husband to work. We're just using one car right now. I came from work and that's why I'm late. I help my people, I help my team with the with our patients just crazy right now, and we're just having a shortage of nurses because we have a large influx of patients. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna work again. But then yeah, hi Jigs. So yeah, I just want to say before anything else, before I go, thank you so much for your birthday greetings and well wishes for my daughter. She's quite a bit shy. I'll ask her to do a video to say thank you to you guys, but I'll see. But yeah, other than that, if you think this is valuable, feel free to, hi Jigs, feel free to share this to your friends. Um, and if you want the notes for this content, feel free to scan the QR code in your screen right now so you can download it and print it and have a copy of this. Um, this is the 14th law, the law of expansion. The next time will be the last law, and that will be the law of contribution. And I think I'm gonna do it next week. If not, I'm gonna do it after next week. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all, and I am rooting for your growth. I'm always here for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to DM me, and don't forget to share this content to your friends or your family members. I love you all, and God bless. Bye. Love you too, Victoria. Bye.